Hey guys, Fannis here. Please excuse my appearance. It's 12, actually 10 in the night, and I'm off to go to sleep in a few minutes. But I like to do a tutorial in a way to show you the definitive weathering of a Halloween or a plastic toy knife to make it look realistic. But before I do this, let me just get the pieces here a moment. Some of them, of course, I do not have, so at the moment now I cannot go and get them because they are in a high place or something. But I have some of the necessary equipment here to show you what I used to take, this is the end product. I used some black paint for a wash, some blood colored paint for a wash, and some this orange for rust, and it came out better than I hoped. I'm probably gonna use that for my series or a movie. So this is what you get actually from this knife. This is also painted but without the blood color. It's only rust and black paint, and I think it looks pretty good. I haven't sharpened the tip because I want to show you the basic shape. So this is the basic shape of the knife, and you will actually, when you buy it, it will be a flat silver color, and this will be pretty good. I just did them sloppily, but I can make it, and it will say here China, so it will have a fake blood splatter which looks fake as shit and won't pass for a real knife. So I took my Dremel tool with the sanding drum attachment, and I created this texture, which I didn't really want, but I have spray painted these knives with chrome paint, and they got bulked up with spray paint, and I had to find a way to hog it off. So it gave this old used beaten up knife, and I think I really like this texture. It's a pretty nice texture, especially like this knife here. It looks so fucking real and old, like it was used from 1978, or a very old knife that was used and left in the rain or in a fire. I don't know, do whatever you want, but you can see the difference between the two blades. The one is sharp, yet when you stab it pokes you, so it's a bit dangerous, but the other one doesn't poke you as much, but this one looks more real. So I sanded them, as best as I could, or however I could, and I used this pen first to put a base color in, a base silver color. It's the Pentel paint marker super silver medium point. I used this to add the shininess of the blade because it's a really great silver. And of course then I dulled them with the washes I told you about, and this is it. Also I have here an attachment I got from the €1 shop, which is basically the same knife but cut and made into this cheap ass thing. So you can get this as well, which as you can see I modified because it was too long and you couldn't position it great into your head. And as you can see, it looks bad, but you can work with this. This is the same knife but cut off. These handles also remove, and here it is, made in China, and it has a code, so you can probably find this knife also this variant or the one I showed you earlier on the internet, you can actually use these pieces for prosthetics, like cut it off right here and put some glue and glue it, and this is a quick release system. I'm holding also the mic, so don't worry about it. I can probably show you because I don't have anyone to actually use, boom the microphone, so I have to do it myself. So I don't know if you can see, but you can do this and the whole piece of knife removes. You can, weather this one and then have this quick release glued into your actor's body, and then chuck, put this in, put the skin damage in, and boom, there you go, you've got an impaled actor without the danger of cutting a knife and gluing it, and because it will be too heavy and it will probably fall and you will have to put a metal plate on your actor. This weighs almost nothing and it's much more safer. This weighs about 1/10 or 2/4, I don't know. It's much more lighter than a real knife. You can also do the same thing with the stip, or you can remove the quick release altogether and find a way to glue this together so you can have a completed knife. So if you want, I can make a tutorial, which I probably will make, of things you can get on the €1 shop and transform them to be greater than they actually are. Actually, this is that. Now this one I showed you was €1, so I'm going to show you something else I have created. There it is. Good. It's a cut-off neck. It was an appliance with thick walls that I cut off and shaped, and I also cut off the middle part, which was a big mistake. But I wanted to see how it would look, and so I painted it, added the blood splatter and stuff. Don't know if you can see it. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you can see it. I added the skin tone. You can glue this to your actor and blend the edges in a way. I don't know what material this is. It's probably vinyl, but it doesn't smell like latex. But yes, you can take a mold of this, made it in gelatin, which I will do in my Annihilation Film Productions channel, and I will show there some other tips and tricks, like this one, the knife one. There I have much more subscribers, so I can give this knowledge to much wider audience, so I would appreciate it if you subscribe there. So yes, this looks pretty realistic. I put some PVA glue, which PVA glue is the best glue you can get. I mean, I've got a bottle of this and it has so many uses. I mean, this is perfect. I use it for every project I do. Paper mache, sealing this prosthetic, many things. I mean, making custom wigs, you can use this. I have here a wig which I'm gonna use somewhere, and I made spikes with this. Of course, this dissolves in water, so I have to find a way for the wig to stop it from dissolving in water. But it's a pretty great thing, even for gelatin prosthetics, like Philip Stevens showed us. So these knives are pretty realistic in a right amount of lighting and stuff, but I think you will actually love these things, because the camera, I think, doesn't do it justice if it's not in close-up or if it's not exaggerated. But in real life, this looks like a beaten up knife which has been going through a lot. I mean, I can see here a cut which I hadn't noticed I put there, right? A dimple and some smears and stuff from the spray paint, which I didn't actually Dremel that great, but this gives it a character. Like, it's been through a lot. Like, it's rusted, and on this side it looks like it's rusted. And this side is pretty smooth, but I like this side much more. It looks like it's starting to rust and disintegrate, like it's been through a raining, like someone left it in the rain and it rusted, or someone has just stabbed someone and the whole blade has been through a lot of blood baths, and then he left it there for a long period of time, and then he cleaned the blade, and the blade seeped into the cracks, and it looks like it's old with this black wash. And I mean, I couldn't believe it would be better by myself. I mean, I couldn't believe that it is that great with just so little amount of paint. You put the paint and then you wipe it off, and it goes into the detail, which is fucking great. Now about this knife, it's made from the same actual technique, but I haven't, as I told you, removed the curvature here. But I like this one too. Not that great because, you know, it's probably because I sloppily did the rivet on the head, and because it's, I don't know, I just like that one because it has the tip and it looks more realistic, I think. But this one, I like this pattern. If you can see, it's made also with the black paint. I left it there, dried it off with a bit of heat, not enough dry to all of it be dry, but enough, and then you wipe it off, and then you can actually wipe it off again with a wet paper towel, as you can see, and it gives this look that every detail, it seeps into the detail, and it dries, and it becomes like this old beaten up knife that has a long story, like Michael Myers picked it up and never let it down again, because he used this knife to kill people, and with this he killed Laurie Strode and so many people. So this knife can have a history of its own. I mean, you can actually Dremel cuts, like at the end of Resurrection, which it's actually one of my favorite movies, and you can mount it, and it will look like the knife from Resurrection in a way, because it had a black handle, it had a blade kind of like this. They looked alike, and you can make that, or you can make the knife from Psycho, that what was his name? I haven't seen Psycho. I think Norman Bates. Yeah, you can make that knife, or Chucky's knife, whatever you want. But it's a pretty good prop knife, and I think I got these for about €5 here in Greece, in a specific store. Yes, and I believe if I can search on the internet or in other stores, I can find this for cheaper. I bet you I can find these knives in the €1 shop, but not cut. Maybe I can find them there only cut, but then I can glue them together, but that will be much of a hassle. But I think I can find these exact ones, in the €1 shop. Also, now that I mentioned the €1 shop, now that I remember it, oh fuck, my lighter dropped, one moment, thank you. I bought this cheap knife, which is a real knife, as you can see. It's very thin, and it was €1, and I put some paint and super glue on the tip, and I created the damaged edge, and it looks pretty good for a real weapon. I mean, it had a logo here, and I sanded it, so it looks real. You can use this for hero shots, but it's too thin, and I don't like that. I will go and buy another one, and probably Frankenstein this kind of blade into it, so it will look pretty good. But this is an idea you can use. I mean, I removed the edge because I want it to be dull. So if you use it for filming, you obviously don't want to stab someone with it. And you can do the same thing with this. but this is a real knife and it will look much better, I believe. And you will not you will not have to use this amazing pen, which I fucking love this pen. I've got about another one that I haven't even touched for emergency. This is still working. These are freaking great pens, and as you can see, it glistens in the light and it looks fucking great, like in the resurrection. And even the blood looks real, if you can see. It looks like part of the knife, but because I put super glue. But as you can see, these ones do not shine as much and they look much real, I believe. It's because of the chrome paint that we used. But I think they look pretty good. I see the viewfinder there, so excuse me if I don't look at you directly. So as you can see, they glisten in the light a little bit, or maybe as much as a real knife if you painted it well. And they look fucking like a fucking realistic weapon. So when you use it in your movie, it will look pretty good. So here are some differences of high resolution photos. As you can see, the difference between the two knives, and I believe the one with the realistic tip looks the best because it has that realistic blade and it looks much more beaten up to be used for a serial killer, just like Michael Myers. And he would probably not use he would probably use a knife for a couple of decades if he wasn't killed or burned or got a new weapon. He would probably use a pretty usable knife, even if it was rusted. He would probably clean it up, wash it, leave it somewhere to dry, and when the time for Halloween came, he would grab it and go do his job, or whenever he does his job. And he would probably leave it in a wet place. He doesn't care, it's just a tool for him to kill. So he would probably leave it somewhere. And yeah, that is it. Oh, I don't have a lot of time, so yes, my camera is about to close because I don't have much time in the SD card, but that is the difference and how you can definitively weather a toy kitchen knife. I hope this video proved useful to you. Please subscribe to Annihilation Film Productions and to this channel for more videos like this, and like and share this video so other people can see it. Thank you for watching. Fannis out.